Welcome to the Life Success and Legacy Podcast. We're glad you're here, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the next episode of the Life Success Legacy Podcast. I am Chris Bay, joined by two mics today. I've got Michael King Everett. How are you, sir?
I am tired and cranky, but I'm ready to go.
Being real.
Yep.
Michael Crawford, how's the Crawford household in this new year?
Doing all right. I think we're trucking along.
Yeah. To our listeners, Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I had one of our team members, Jeff King, who does our dream conversations for us, poking a little fun at me this morning. He texted and say, "Hey, I'm out shopping for a paper calendar." I said, "Isn't it exhilarating?"
Oh,
he's like, "Yes."
Oh, we need to get both you guys out more. I can feel it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
So today, what we'd like to do with the podcast, and we don't do this very often, but Crawford came up with this idea, and I think it's a great one. And actually, as we started brainstorming, there was a lot of information to share, and we'll all kind of chime in and pose questions to each other. But the general topic is State of the Union or State of LSL, Life Success and Legacy. And I think, and we're going to touch on a lot of different things, but I would say two things. One, we apply what we teach, and that is Nelson Nash's principles. Think long-term, capitalize your system generously, and don't steal from the peas. We apply those principles to life, success, and legacy. And I think hopefully we can connect some dots for you and show how that actually happens. And secondly, there are two, if you were to look for patterns in the work that we do, there are two primary patterns that we invest in. Number one is our clients. Everything we do, it all circles back around to investing in our clients. And hopefully we can express some ways we think about and ways we take action in doing that. And secondly is investing in IBC as a concept with others as well. So we're going to jump into some of those. First of all, Mike Everett, I'll throw to you. You have always had a passion and a mission about investing in IBC with people who are interested, right?
Yep.
And LSL has continued to carry that on and carry on your passion on that topic. Looking, in the past, but also looking ahead to 2025, what are some of the ways that pop to your mind about how we continue to invest in IBC with others?
Well, we all run into all kinds of people all the time. And, I will say that IBC is in the back of my mind. It used to be clear in the outside part of the front of my mind. And I know that I freaked a bunch of people out early on in my career, which, that's just my MO anyway. But, having conversations with people and finding out where they are and what they're trying to achieve. And, I go back to my business card. It says, "What's your dream?" We want to know what people's hopes and dreams are.
Yeah.
But even more importantly, I go back to a ride from Pella, Iowa to Lawrence, Kansas at about somewhere between 11 and 1 a.m. I remember we left Pella, Iowa, and I'll get to the answer to that question here in a second. But after about, I'm going to say a minimum of a 2.5 hour Q&A, that's Chris Bay quizzing me about all kinds of stuff about IBC, about me, about our relationships with people, about how we're teaching IBC, about the path that Nelson created for us. It came up at the end of all of that, our mission statement. Why does life, success, and legacy exist? And this is truly it in a nutshell. We want to inspire financial hope and freedom by revealing little-known truths about money while investing in trusting long-term relationships. So the overreaching goal of LSL is to create relationships. Mm-hmm. And we've said this over and over and over. Our clients are not just clients. They're friends, mm-hmm. because we know about them. We know about what they do. We know about their spouses. We know about their significant others. We know about their children. We know what their goals are. We know what their hopes are. We also know what their fears and dangers are. So we have gone full circle with this whole thing to literally utilize IBC as just a platform. It is literally just a platform. I just had this same conversation with a young guy out of New York. And I said, this is really what we're all about. He said, well, I've interviewed a whole lot of other IBC practitioners. And he goes, I've never heard anything like this. I said, either you like it or you don't. And I could tell this guy was he was a young guy. He probably might have been 30. And I applaud these younger guys because they do a whole lot of research before they actually, they do way more. Me, what am I going to do? I'm getting on my phone and I'm going to start calling people. Yeah. Most of these guys have done, this back stock of information, and they've got a whole lot of information before they come to the table. So back to what we do and why we do it. Mm-hmm. We do this because it is about our clients. It is about the relationships. It's about sharing truths with them that nobody else usually will share with them, and helping them to see, because most of the people, they can see like this far. Mm-hmm. But, we've talked about this over and over and over. We created this crazy, inspiring hope and freedom software. We can show people where we can clear the fog and we can see down the road 6-8 years. And it's amazing when you get to see down the road. But it is truly, truly about our clients. But yet using IBC as the platform to help them see where they could, where the possibilities are.
And that's a great, great transition, Crawford. Whenever it brings up IHF, not only are we about, our primary purpose is our clients. Yeah. No questions. Right. But a secondary question or priority is promoting IBC to others. Right. And IHF, can you talk a little bit about IHF and the continued work that really you do? That's your baby. You have owned that and made that your branch of LSL. Yeah. Talk about what IHF is and how it has supported other IBC coaches.
Yeah, so we've talked about our software before, but I will say when we started developing the software, it was a tool that we decided we needed as a team to become efficient. I'm an efficiency guy. I like to find, I joke, like, if we can remove 2 clicks out of a process, we've saved time and possibly reduced errors, right? If we don't have to keep clicking or doing something and transferring data, whatever it is. And so we utilized the expertise and knowledge of our friend Casey Morford to, help develop the software. And as we kind of went down that path, we went to a think tank in February. They're always usually in February or March. And it was February that year, I remember. And we were in Birmingham, Alabama still. And Everett was holding court with about 15 IBC guys in the lobby of that hotel. And they're all crammed around his little 15-inch laptop. And we hadn't even gotten out of beta. It was so rough. It was embarrassing.
Did you know he was going to be sharing that? Did that make you sweat?
Well, only because it was in such rough shape. We were still dealing with like mathematical bugs and errors, and linking issues and all sorts of stuff that, that's just part of development. But, it's sort of like when you see how the sausage is made type of stuff, you're like, ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, it's not so pretty.
And so he's holding court, and then he hollers at me to come over and explain it and talk through some of it with these agents, these different IBC guys and gals. And before you know it, they're asking us if we were going to sell it. And we were like, well, hadn't really thought of it.
No.
And by sell, I mean just offer it as a support tool for them. We don't, it's not a tool that we sell that like we make a ton of money on, but it helps support our development and future growth of the software. That's all we cared about. It wasn't a money maker for us. It was a, hey, if we break even, we're good. We're happy. This is good.
Yep.
And so we pivoted. Casey fortunately was on board with it because he had done development like this before. Mm-hmm. And he was like, that's not a bad idea. And we pivoted and reformatted the software almost literally. And within about 7 months, we had some of our first agents from across the country using the software. And as of the middle of December 2024, so just last month, at the time of this recording, we finished the last mathematical issues that we had for the Canadian users because their systems are a little different. So we're hoping to fully integrate it with all of the agents that have been interested from Canada here in the next first quarter of this year. So it's a tool that, when we started it, it was really self-serving. We needed it. We wanted it. We had a desire to be more efficient and create a tool that we could really use. And then it turned into something that now we have agents from all over the country using and helping them become efficient. They're not doing anything different, better, worse than we are. They're just using our tool as a way to expand Nelson's, principles and infinite banking across the country.
Crawford, I can already hear somebody listening to this, and we get this question all the time. The client's going to ask, do we get access to the software?
Yeah. No, unfortunately, at this moment, that is not on the radar. We have some other big dreams that we have for the software and its growth. Client access has not been one that we have delved into. And here's one of the major reasons. And, you guys correct me if I'm out of bounds on this, but one of the major reasons is that, let me back up and say it this way. I support a few dental offices doing some IT support. It's something I've done for over 10 years, and I really just enjoy doing it. I can do 90% of it from my desk, and it's great. I love it. I get to interact with a different group of people, and it's fun. But when I have dentists that come to me and they say, hey, I tried to fix this computer and it's worse now, I always say, well, next time you have a root canal, you call me and I'll come in and I'll get that done for you. Our software was built.
Little snarky, aren't you?
Well,
I actually love that part of him.
Yeah. Here's my deal. If I don't know how to fix teeth, I'm not going to go in and fix teeth. I am an IBC coach. All of us are. This is what we live and breathe, right?
Yeah.
We stay in our lane because of that. That is important to us. And so from that perspective, a client trying to get in there and figure out how to manage their stuff is them getting out of their lane, in my opinion. And that's not a dig on them as the client. That is us having the expertise and knowledge of what Nelson's principles are, how to formulate that strategy for their future goals. That doesn't mean we shouldn't work with them on that, but that is not necessarily just open season on, getting in there and fidgeting around with your numbers. It's not an Excel spreadsheet,
Right.
So.
Right. And we are about building competence and confidence with our clients, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And like we always say, we don't charge for our coaching. It's not like, hey, we want you to use us because we're going to make money off of you. That's 100%. Not it at all. No. It is that it can be complicated. And we have done so much coaching that there are nuances that we might be aware of that a client might not be aware of.
Yep.
Right.
I'm gonna dovetail that stay in your lane thing to exactly why I think that we have been so incredibly successful with IBC. When Nelson said that this was a it was ridiculously simple. He said this to me 1,000 times. It's ridiculously simple, but yet because of all of the garbage and all the noise that we've heard, everybody makes it complicated. So this was, I'm kind of tying it into the software. This was one of the reasons why IHF came to fruition.
Yeah.
Was because we wanted this to be simple. We wanted a step-by-step look at where people could be, but yet I'm jumping right back into the IBC platform.
Yeah.
That's why Nelson only created 5 principles.
Right.
Because we are all complicated people and we want to complicate things.
Yeah.
So you think about the financial industry as a whole. We've got IRAs, mutual funds, 401ks. We've got disability income. We've got health, big health contracts. We've got, but I'm going to tell you what we do is I'm moving our lane down to right here.
Yeah.
We do IBC because we want to be the best. And that goes right back to like 18 of those books you read, Bay.
That's good.
We want to be the best at what we do. That's why we don't get out of our lane. Yeah. I don't want to go fix teeth either. I don't want to mess with that daggum software. You stick me behind the scenes on that software, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm ripping my computer apart.
Yeah.
You just brought up, what can we be the best in the world at? That ties right into what we call our hedgehog concept, right?
That's it.
And it's, what are you passionate about? And for us, that is inspiring financial hope and freedom for people, which I would say we are truly about helping people create the lives they want. And oh, by the way, there's a financial element to that oftentimes that we use IBC to do that. But we're much more than just the numbers. We are about you creating the life that you want. So what are you passionate about? It's that. What can you be the best in the world at? It's like a 3-piece Venn diagram, right? What are you passionate about? What can you be the best in the world at? And for us, that is teaching and coaching our clients. And third, it is, what is your economic engine, which would be profit per X. And for us, we decided that our economic engine is profit per client. And some people might misinterpret that as, hey, we're going to try and sell them really big policies.
Right.
That is not the case at all. What that means is, when we do have a client that we are a good match with and they are a good match with us, we're going to invest deeply in them. And it's going to become a lifelong and sometimes generational relationship.
Right.
So when you say, what's our passion? And you take what can we be the best in the world with our economic engine? That describes what LSL's business model is right there.
So I'm going to touch on that profit per X thing again, so people don't completely misinterpret it. We're going to clear all the fog away right now. We get people that come to us all the time that are completely amped up and excited about IBC. I mean, like freaked out, losing sleep stuff. And I had this one guy, he said, Mike, I want to buy $100,000 policy. And I'm just going to throw a name in there. I'm going to say, Joe, I'm not going to let you do $100,000 policy. After full explanation of where he was, what we were doing, why IBC, and we got really down to the table level basics, he did a $15,000 policy. Now, the reason why we do that is because we know about IBC, they don't. So we want people to understand what they're doing. What's it like to make a premium deposit? What's it like to take a policy loan? What's it like to make policy loan repayments? What's the interest rate? How much do I pay back? And so we have to literally pull hundreds of people off the ledge because we want them to know about IBC, confidence and competence.
Yeah.
We do know that it'll work for them, but you know what? We've got different varieties of personalities.
Yeah.
And if we don't go into the details and if we don't get, under the surface sometimes with some of the things that they've got going on, then we don't want to overextend somebody. So if we can't put you in a better place tomorrow than you are today, you shouldn't do IBC.
Yeah,
It's
right.
really, it seems a little too simple, and it, I say that all the time to people, and I said, but we know that if you spend time with us, if you allow us to really educate and help you research the right directions and all the nuances of IBC, you'll do this.
Mm-hmm.
But we want you to start slow. Babies learn to crawl, then they learn to walk, and then they learn to run. We have a number of clients that want to get into the run stage, and I'm telling you, we've got to put a bit and a bridle in their mouth and say, whoa, pull them back. We got to pull them back. But that's the fun of what we do. I know that sounds crazy, that it's a lot of work sometimes, but yet we know what the eventual outcome will be.
Well, and I think, like, to your point on all that, Mike, it's a full process, right? There's a whole lot of stuff that goes into all of that. Not just our own experiences and education and knowledge and things that we as a company do to not only just stay in our lane but do what's best for that client, right? If we can't, you just said, if we can't put you in a better place tomorrow than you are today, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
But I think it actually goes into a bigger spectrum, and maybe Chris can answer this. Like, when we think about, like, our continuing to invest, if you will, in the infinite banking community, we have things like some books that our team has written, and we have other tools that our team has put out there besides IHF and whatever, that are really important for the infinite banking community as a whole, that are augmentations to what Nelson has taught us.
Yeah. So, and I don't do this. Thank you, Crawford. I don't do this to toot our horns.
Right. No.
Our intention is truly to provide tools, different learning options for our clients. And there's 2 books within our team that have been written. These 2 books that we've talked about before. Family Banking with Purpose, I wrote several years ago. And it truly is a story about how a family created an infinite banking system. And when I say a story, it's a parable. There's no math, there's no tables, no numbers, nothing. It is truly a story.
Mm-hmm.
And my intention with that is that most financial books are technical.
Yeah.
Not everybody learns technically. And so that's why I wrote this book, is for those people who want to understand or think about it, and they're maybe not technical thinkers. And this is also on Audible. It's not my voice. We paid a voice actor to do it. Thank you. But I really love Mike Kwong's book, Dibs on Your Money. It is a fantastic teaching tool that he wrote initially for their teenage daughter. And it is only in print right now. And this year in 2025, we're pushing him. We would like to get this in an Audible version as well. We have clients ask all the time, hey, can I get dibs in Audible? Well, we're working towards that. And that goes back, Crawford, to your point, is we listen to our clients. We want to know what they want. What do they need? What's going to be helpful to them? And then we do our best to make that happen. And I'm going to bounce that back to you, Crawford. In an effort to create more tools for our clients and to create community and to be able for them to get their answers, their questions answered quickly. This past year, we worked for quite a while to put together a platform called Discord. And it's still in its growing stage. It's new, it's young. Can you describe why and what Discord is, the LSL Discord?
Yeah, so our company has, seen for the last, 12 to, 18 months, we've seen an influx of new clients from across the country, and varying different levels of IBC knowledge, varying levels of experience and years in the biz, if you will, in terms of just like knowing IBC and having exposure to it. And what we realized is that they were coming to people like, I'll say, Shelley Forbes, or maybe Haley to a lesser degree, and Chris Bay, for a lot of very repetitive questions, all good, all very reasonably expected questions. I mean, I, I don't remember what oil my vehicle takes, and I change it every time. I still have to look, and so
I don't believe that.
no, I really don't, because they all take
I
different
believe you
oils.
change your own oil. I don't
Oh,
believe
yeah.
that you don't remember.
I don't, but it's those types of things. Like, if you don't do it every day, if you're not, I mean, we think about IBC every day, all day, that's what we do, but we don't expect our clients to do that. So they have an open door policy. We have an open door policy. They come to us with their needs. And we realized about halfway through the year, one of the things that might be super helpful is a community of a discussion platform where we allow clients to talk to one another. Because maybe Joe, to use Mike's name, maybe Joe has the answer that Tommy needs, whatever. And we can have that discussion, and that's an open discussion, and people can throw out their ideas. And it starts to turn what we hope into is a place for people to experiment. And I mean that, like, hey, I was considering this type of use of my IBC dollars through my cash values. Or, hey, I'm in a pickle with X, Y, or Z. Is there anybody out there who's experienced this? And it's an opportunity now for them not only just to ask questions about IBC from a technical perspective. How do I take a policy loan? How do I pay that policy loan back? Who do I call at the company if I have a question about my policy? We can put all that into a form, which we have on our website that is linked through our Discord, and that's easy peasy. But now the next layer of that is it becomes a community chat platform where we're seeing ideas thrown out, and those could be ideas that are influential to us as a team, even where we use those as tools to enhance what we do as coaches. And we've said this a million times, but it's always true. We're continuing to learn too, and we hope that this platform is not only beneficial for our clients and future clients, but also for us as a team.
Yeah. And what we were finding is we use the term 10x, right? As our client base has grown, our team does not grow at the same rate that our client base does. So we have to think, rather than just 2 times, we have to think 10 times. How can we continue to provide the same level, if not better, service to our clients? And because we don't charge for our coaching, it was getting to the point where people were having to wait a couple of weeks for a coaching session. And so this kind of prompted us, and we actually experimented with it with Mike Kwong's book, Dibs. They have a WhatsApp group, and we experimented with the model in this WhatsApp group. And we're like, okay, there's some things there that we could use that could expand to our whole LSL client base. And what it allows somebody to do is to hop on there, ask their question, and get an immediate response. Right. And not have to wait for 2 weeks to say, can you remind me, how do I make my premium deposit?
Exactly. It's just a tool that we feel, as it continues to grow, will provide those quick answers, maybe some deeper dives, and maybe just an opportunity for people to get that third-party verification, right? Like, they could talk to us and we're rah-rahs, right? Like, we're going to support these clients, like, as their champions. But sometimes you need that person who maybe you don't know and maybe doesn't know you to come back and say, that's actually a really good idea. I would do that. Or maybe they come back and say,
I've tried that, and here was my experience.
So I think that is what my vision of the platform would be as we continue to grow it. And I do believe that we have some really fun things coming on the Discord channel, and maybe we'll even do a podcast on it whenever we decide to push it forward. But sometime in this, I'm hoping in January, we are going to start engaging a little bit differently with Discord to try to, I'll say, stir the pot in a good way.
Yeah. Mike Everett, we have been talking about how much we focus on client support and our relationships with our clients. But in many ways, we are middle management, because we have the client on this side that we are so committed to. But on this side, we have the life insurance companies that we work with. And what I'd love for you to do is talk about the efforts that LSL has made and continues to make that link between the client and the company, because I'm just going to say it's not always smooth. Right?
It's funny that you're talking. that we're talking about this, because we had a Zoom call on December 26th at 10 a.m. in the
morning after Christmas.
Yeah, because this is how important it is to us. You know, our lane is IBC. It has always been IBC. The insurance company thinks one, maybe two ways. Number one, the insurance company, they do insurance products.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to keep this super simple. So,
and some of the companies are broader than that. They're doing a lot of things. So we are a very small piece of the pie.
We are a
from their
sliver. Yeah, we are a very small sliver. But what we teach and the level that we teach people to be able to utilize their dividend paying whole life insurance policy at a very high level, we need insurance companies to be able to service this kind of thought process. And so we have gone to home offices. We have sat down with the powers that be and talked about all of the different facets. We've even gone into explanation with the insurance company about design, about how our clients utilize the policy. What in the world is a policy loan? We know our clients are going to make policy loan repayments. We know that there's going to be a interest rate that the insurance company charges. We have to explain all of this stuff at a very deep level to our clients, but yet the insurance companies sometimes don't have all of the processes in place in order to make this transition smooth for our clients. And we understand that. So we have taken time to go at a deep level with the customer service people. I mean, from the top level people that are over the top of the customer service people that are down here at table level. We want them to know what we're doing, and we get in their business because we want them to know we're serious about this.
Yeah.
But yet, in the same breath, this little tiny sliver of business that we do with the insurance companies, our agency, okay, so one of the companies that we represent has 50,000 agencies. Actually more, but let's just keep, I'm a round numbers guy. We're in the top 10 of those 50,000 agencies. Now, that tells me that number one, we are doing the right thing. We are teaching, we are coaching, we are educating, we are providing resources for our clients. Okay, I'm going to get back to the very first thing we talked about was our clients.
Yep.
We want our clients to be able to be competent and confident about what they're doing and why they're doing it. We also want them to know that we're growing and learning right along with them.
Yep.
So as we're communicating and helping the insurance company understand what we're doing, we're taking this information back as quick as we can to our clients and say, hey, they're working on this, this, and this, and we're pushing hard. I mean, we are getting after it with them. So it is important for us to have that relationship, not just with our client, but we've got to have that relationship with our companies.
Yeah.
Because somehow us as the go-between, you know, if you're talking about electrical current, we're kind of the middle thing that like brings the current all together. And we want that to be a smooth transition. Has it been smooth? It has not.
Not always.
But
no.
Yeah, and it can get ugly sometimes, especially if you're talking about somebody who's making a larger policy loan repayment or a larger policy loan.
Right.
So
yeah, so we because we know our clients are trusting us, and we have researched and pre-selected the companies.
Right.
We have policies with these companies ourselves.
Oh yeah.
And so we know the warts, right? And every company has warts.
Oh boy.
You just got to pick what's your flavor of wart that you want to deal with, right? And so yeah, we took the entire team, the whole team to a trip to Cincinnati this 2024.
Yeah.
And we sat down and had all day meetings and actually did another one, as you mentioned, December 26th. That was a virtual meeting. And then Shelly is then going back in the end of January. They asked her if she would come because she's so valuable. They asked Shelly to come back and help them on a certain project that they're working on. So we know for our clients, we know it's not always just smooth as glass. But what we want you to know is that we continue to work with the companies to make it as smooth as possible for them. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a really good point, Chris, is like, something that I think all of our clients probably know is that LSL is not perfect. The companies we work with are not perfect. We don't try to claim we're perfect, but one thing I believe you can count on from LSL is that we will always strive towards perfection, because our goal is to continue learning and growing alongside our clients. We don't treat them, as Mike started the entire podcast off, as numbers. They're not just people in a ledger. They are people that we want long-term lasting relationships with. And in order to do that, our team has created, you and Mike specifically have created an opportunity for all of us, the rest of the team members, to enhance the lives of those clients on a daily basis through whatever tool it is. I don't care if it's our software. I don't care if it's the Discord, or if it's Shelly's teaching and her onboarding with our clients, or if it's Haley and her support for clients and applications and all the things she does behind the scenes there, or you and Mike doing your coaching sessions, reaching out to clients, touching base with the head offices of these insurance companies. All of this is just the individual pieces that come together to make our team what it is. And also, in my opinion, it sets us apart because we see each of our roles as just as vital as the next. And each of those roles all come back to two things. We support Nelson Nash's principles, and we support our clients.
Crawford, you just made me think. I'm a visual guy, right? I like visuals, and I'm imagining our wheel, our LSL wheel. And and Mary did an initial version for us. And what it is it's an organizational chart, but we have it as a wheel where it has concentric rings, and the very center of this wheel is LSL clients.
Amen.
And then the outside is Nelson Nash's principles and Mike Everett, the founder's passions, right? And those are almost like a protective barrier for us to keep us focused on what is most important, and that is our LSL clients. And that actually was the very first element of a project that we've been working on now for a couple of years. We call it Vision 2030. And Vision 2030, jokingly, Everett, we talk about we're going to kick Everett in a hole in the ground. We actually joke sometimes it's 2030, sometimes it's Vision 2040. But the general idea is, if I can kind of capture this very quickly, it is an ongoing effort for us to build LSL into the future beyond us. And I'll point out two things that play. I won't go into the details of the goals that are tied to Vision 2030 and all that. Let me just say, clients, every single goal has to do with you. Every single one. The goal ends with LSL clients. Okay. But what I would say is a couple things. One, we now have team members that represent the decades of the 60-year-olds. Raise your hand. The 50-year-olds. The 40-year-olds. The 30-year-olds.
Yeah, that's right.
And this past and 20 decades as well. This past
Yeah.
year, we brought on Haley David Show for full time.
Yeah.
And after she started with us doing applications and had to kind of push pause and wait for a year before we were at a place where we felt we could successfully onboard her, just because we were so busy with projects, we wanted to make sure we set her up for success. But she's now full time with us. And then just recently this fall, we brought on Paige Stewart.
Right.
And Paige and her family have been clients for a long time.
Yep.
And Paige is recently married. And again, both Haley and Paige, they're a big part of what they're going to help us do is support who?
Our clients.
It's about supporting our clients. So yeah, that's one of the things that we've done to build that. I will add another one just to share with our clients how long-term thinking, which that's Nelson's number one principle, think long-term. We just added 3 more policies on team members that LSL owns. I think we now have about 13 IBC policies within the company. Now, Mike Everett, who's the beneficiary of these policies?
The company.
The company is.
That's right.
But when some of us older dudes kick off, that money's going to go right back. That death benefit's going right back into the company for these young people on the team that are going to
carry
build
the ball.
it and take it even further. So I say that to our clients. Mike Everett, do you remember back in the day when it was just you?
Oh.
And people would ask you like, well, what happens if you're not around?
Right.
All right. So I'll try not to get too emotional about this. It's January 2nd, 2025.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's just not a chance. Late 2000. This is funny. About a half hour ago, I was looking at you two going, can you believe this?
No.
I mean, late 2005, early 2006 is when I launched into an IBC career. And then we got 2012, 2013, Chris Bay comes on board and he gets all excited about building a business. I said, no. And then 2015, 2016, Crawford comes on board. 2025. We have a ton of people doing this thing. And I've never been so excited to teach IBC in my entire life. And I was already excited about this.
Yeah.
So for anybody who was just listening to this Vision 2030 thing, I'll be 75 in 2030. Do you think that I'm still going to be slightly excited about IBC? I'll be doing cartwheels. Cartwheels
and breaking hips.
Oh, dude! Right now, you can't tell. I jammed my thumb. It's 3 times the size of my knuckle is supposed to be. Oh, dude! I had this thing on yesterday when I went over to see Kurt and Hunter, and Hunter's a bowler. He goes, "You just come from the bowling alley? You know how they wear those hand brace things?" I said, "Well, kinda." No. So back to this whole picture. We are excited about life success and legacy, but we're more excited about the clients and serving them and educating them and providing them resources and just overall helping them understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. We want people to come to us with their deepest, darkest secrets and hopes and dreams, and we want to be able to take IBC to the level that they want to take IBC. We can make it happen for them. We can make their dreams come true if they're willing to follow the 5 principles. Are we going to goof them up? You better believe we're going to all goof them up. But yet Nelson made this ridiculously simple for people just like us to be able to teach people just like you.
Yeah. Well, during the pandemic, we were already set up for the pandemic because we had already been doing some things on Zoom, and we just transitioned our boot camps to Zoom. And that had already started because we had clients all over the country who couldn't make it to live events.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, we'll start doing boot camps on Zoom so that people can chime in from wherever. And we got away for a little bit from doing live boot camps, but we are getting back into doing live boot camps. And what they've become is really almost like a family reunion.
Yeah, that's right.
And this year, I want to say this to our listeners. This year, we're going to be doing. We have on the books 2 live boot camps. One is, and you can find these on our website. Well, one of them, I think. Crawford, do we have Houston on there yet? Not yet. Okay. Well, we will at some point.
I'll probably
Houston is in March, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
And then, so we're going to be doing a live boot camp in Houston in March. And then we're also going to be doing a live boot camp in Hawaii. We have quite a few clients that are out in Hawaii. And so we're actually taking the team out to Hawaii, and we're going to do a live boot camp out there the end of May. Mm-hmm. And so keep an eye out. We will be getting those dates on our website at lifesuccesslegacy.com. And we would love for you to come join the family reunion.
March 22nd from 9 a.m. to 1 or 1:30 is Houston.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm throwing that out there because we've booked it. It's on.
And Everett, remind me, how much do we charge for that?
It's $0 for anybody who wants to attend.
We're want people to come. We're not going to pay for you to get there, but if you get there, you're welcome to join us, and we'll feed you too.
Yeah, so it's a ton of fun. We'll have a little morning breakfast thing. There'll be some rolls and stuff, and then we'll have sandwiches or something at noon. And this is all on us. We want people to come and have fun, and really, we want to hug some necks. That's really what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anything else related to kind of the state of LSL that you guys wanted to touch on? Anything that we've missed? I feel like we've given a pretty broad picture to our listeners.
Yeah.
And we don't do this all the time, but every once in a while people like to hear, they're like, hey, so what are you guys working on? Like, what's the plan? What's the future look like? And Mike Everett and I know, well, for any of us, it could be any of us, all right? Shelley could say, you know what? I'm just going to go be a full-time grandma. Mm-hmm. I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
So it may not always be the oldest male, as Mike Everett always says, right? Yeah. That exits. Our Vision 2030 is putting in place the ability to transition well if anybody steps away from LSL, that the engine just keeps on going and clients don't miss a beat. Yeah. That is our purpose, is that our clients never experience a blip on the radar. If any internal shifts or transitions happen with LSL. We're putting all those things in place. So I don't want to speak for Mike Everett, but I know he'll agree with me that if we've done our job well, as Mike Everett, as the founder of LSL and as a business partner myself, our clients will not only not experience a blip in the radar, but actually will always experience an ever-increasing experience, a better and better experience with LSL, no matter what transitions happen within LSL.
That's right.
That is absolutely our goal for you, our clients. So, all right, gang. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Check us out at lifesuccesslegacy.com. For our clients, please join in on Discord and say hey to us. If you have questions, fire a question. If you have some ideas you're playing around with or something you're just really proud of and excited about your IBC system, put it in there for Discord so we can share as a community. If you are a client, because it is just for our clients, if you are a client and you're not yet on Discord, reach out to Mike Crawford and he can get you all hooked up with Discord. And then check out our website and keep an eye out for those dates. I believe it was March 22nd. We're going to be in Houston. And then the end of May, we're going to be in Hawaii for live boot camps. And then we always have upcoming, I think we've got one coming up January 18th. Yeah, is our next virtual boot camp on Zoom. So check those out. Join Mike Everett for a webinar and reach out to us. We'd love to see you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Life Success Legacy Podcast.